Alright, this is the third video of consciousness. This one is going to be looking at altered states of consciousness, specifically dreams and hypnosis. The information on here can be found on pages 187 to 196. Kind of to begin, some interesting dream facts. We spend 6 years of our life in dreams. 8 and 10 dreams are usually marked by a negative event, so a lot of times dreams are seen more negative than positive. And we still are able to detect different sensory information. For example, we're able to detect the sound of our alarm clock going off. Our body is still aware of some of the sounds in our environment. They did an experiment where they had two groups of people. The experimental group, which is the group that was manipulated, where they splashed water on their faces as they were sleeping. And they had another group, the control group, that didn't have water splashed on their face. And they found out that after the night's sleep, they interviewed the participants, and the participants that had water splashed on their face, they didn't know it, reported either they had a dream about a waterfall, or water was leaking on their face, or they went swimming in a pool. So some of those experiences that we do have with our sensory information still, and even maybe impact some of our dreams. Sometimes I have a dream of where I may be laying in bed and all of a sudden a phone rings, and that's because maybe my phone is actually ringing in my conscious environment. Culture can impact dreams. Many studies have supported the theory that culture plays a large role in our dream content. In India, they had many dreams where people said they were attacked by cows. Cows are something that are very valued in their environment. Americans, we usually have a fear of nakedness, and that's why they say a lot of people, Americans, dream just in general about nakedness, being naked, fear of being naked. Dreams do, however, vary by age, gender, and culture. They found that children are more likely to dream about animals that are large and threatening, while adults dream more of pets. Women are more likely to dream about men and women, and men are more likely to actually dream about men, they say. 100 Psychology Today readers responded to a survey that said 95% said they remembered their dreams, 39% could control their dreams. 68% people said that they have reoccurring dreams over and over and over again. 28% said they died in a dream, and then 45% had dreamed that they dreamed about a celebrity. So that's just some more kind of interesting facts. Timing of the dreams. Typically, the first dream connects with events from the previous day, and then the later dreams you have at night are build on the theme in. Like sometimes they build on one another. Sometimes they're just totally different and have no connection to it. Oftentimes the final dream is remembered most vividly, but has very little to do with the previous day's events or events that lay ahead. Freud's theory of dreaming, and we've kind of talked about this before. So there's different theories that we're going to go through for dreams. There are 5 of them, and you need to know them. The first one is Sigmund Freud's, which is known as wishful fulfillment. Sigmund Freud had many prominent thoughts on dreaming, as well as the unconscious mind. He thought that this was an opportunity to discharge our unconscious wants and desires. So we do have many things in our unconscious that are way, way deep in the below the surface, and Sigmund Freud believes that this is our opportunity for our unconscious mind to kind of dump everything out. He came up with 2 ideas, the manifest content and the latent content. The manifest content is this dream storyline. Okay, so let's say last night I had a dream about going to downtown Chicago, and I was on a boat, and the boat ended up tipping. Okay. The manifest content would be that storyline. The latent content then would be the meaning. What does the boat mean that it tipped? What could that possibly mean in my life? And what maybe am I afraid of? Despite his theories, there's no solid evidence to support Freud's interpretation of the latent dream context. Okay, so sometimes you have dream dictionaries you can look up. There's no real support that supports some of these things. Like, what does it mean when my teeth fall out? Okay, they're just kind of hypothetical guesses. Another reason why we dream is because of information processing. Dreams may help sift, sort, and fix a day's experience in our memories. So we're consolidating our thoughts, our thought process. Physiological function. Dreams provide the sleeping brain with periodic stimulation to develop and preserve pathways. So another reason why people say that we dream is because it's keeping our brain pretty much active. And if we didn't have dreams and we didn't have this thought process occurring, then the pathways would become blocked and we'd stop being able to think and function. Neural networks of newborns are quickly developed and therefore they need more sleep. Another theory, theory 4, is activation synthesis theory. This suggests that the brain engages in a lot of random neural activity, and dreams make sense of this activity. So basically you have a lot of static electricity going on basically in your brain, and when that's happening, it's trying to formulate dreams. And then cognitive development. This is a newer theory. Some researchers argue that we dream as a part of brain maturation and cognitive development. So our brain is growing, hence it needs to continue to dream and be active. Another idea that was talked about with dreams is the REM rebound. The REM rebound is the tendency for REM sleep to increase following REM deprivation. So if something happens in your sleep and you didn't complete a full cycle of REM, usually what they're going to start seeing is REM beginning to get longer and longer through the course of the evening. So your REM sleep gets longer, and this is the stage in which a lot of your dreams are processed. Lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming is a belief that are dreams in which you become aware that you are dreaming, and then you learn how to control the aspects of your environment in the dream. So there's a lot of research on this right now in terms of understanding how lucid dreams work, and what are different types of strategies that you can use in order to understand that you are dreaming and kind of stay awake in the dream. Because what usually happens is you realize that you're dreaming, and so you wake up, you become conscious of it. But there's new research out there that is trying to train people on how to stay in these lucid dreams. Second altered state we're going to look at is hypnosis. Hypnosis is a social interaction in which a person, the hypnotist, suggests to another, the subject, that certain perceptions, feelings, thoughts, or behaviors will spontaneously occur. Those who study hypnosis have agreed that its power resides not in the hypnotist, but in the subject's openness to suggestion. So those who have really studied hypnosis found out that if a person's really willing to go through with the suggestion, they're more willing to enter that trance-like state. Hypnotists have no magical mind control power. They merely engage people's ability to focus on certain images or behaviors. Okay, so they kind of get you to think about certain things. They're not necessarily controlling what you're thinking. Okay, they get you in this trance-like state, the relaxed trance-like state. And if you're more susceptible to that, meaning that you're more willing to allow yourself to get in this trance-like state, the more you may be willing to kind of go through with the process of hypnosis. Hypnosis, if you're more willing to listen to the man's voice and agree to this activity, you are more suggestible to be impacted by hypnosis. Does it work, hypnosis? To a degree, everyone is suggestible. And 20% are highly suggestible, but I know my personality, my emotional level, my neuroticism would not allow me to be very suggestible to a trance-like state. Suggestibility is how willing that person is to open up to others. The real power of hypnosis is not in the hypnotist, but in the subject's own openness to suggestion. Okay, can hypnosis make people act against their will? The short answer is no. Not any more than an authority figure can make someone who is not hypnotized act against their will. Okay, so you really are controlling whether or not you're going to allow the situation to take place. Can hypnosis be therapeutic? Yes. Okay. Post-hypnotic suggestion and suggestions made during hypnosis have helped alleviate headaches, asthma, and stress-related skin disorders. In other cases, clients whose therapy was supplemented by hypnosis show greater improvement than 70% of the other patients. You're accepting that you need to change. When you get in this trance-like state, you start thinking about it, reflecting on it, trying to understand that you need to start making differences in your life. Hence why maybe hypnosis does help. Okay, it is very helpful with obesity. It's not necessarily a help for people who smoke, drink, or do drugs. And there's no difference when patients were given the same positive reinforcement without hypnosis. Again, this is the end of the third video that analyzed dreams and hypnosis. You should know the different dream theories, specifically Sigmund Freud's, and you should know hypnosis and the different ideas surrounding hypnosis. Can hypnosis alleviate pain? Hypnosis can actually alleviate pain. This happens because dissociation. This is a split between the level of consciousness. Hypnosis dissociates the physical symptoms of pain from the emotional suffering that defines our experience of pain. It's called hypnotic analgesia. Basically, we talked about it before. Dissociation is where your mind is so worried and thinking about one thing that you're not necessarily paying attention, we kind of talked about before, to the pain that maybe you're experiencing. This is because we have dual processing. Two things are happening at once. Your selective attention, we get caught up in the moment, and we don't necessarily think about the pain. So when people maybe become under hypnosis when they're getting a tooth drilled, they're so focused on their trance-like state and in another area, and they're in the mountains, and they're thinking about that when, you know, the pain in their mouth is actually taking place, they're so caught up in this trance-like state that it allows them to kind of dissociate from what's really occurring in their environment. Essentially distracting people from feeling pain, block our attention to such issues. Now again, this probably would not work for me because I'm a very anxious person and I wouldn't allow this dissociation process to really take place.